official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Kaylee.
And I'm John.
And we are back to discuss Ranking of Kings. Woohoo! We're going to be talking about episodes 10 through 12. 10, 11, 12. 8, 9, 10.
I get it.
Oh, no, wait. Is it? 8, no, 7, 8, 9. Right, okay. I had to say the joke. I did. Even earlier when we went to watch the episodes, I remember John, we picked the time, and John was like, 3 episodes, right? And I was like, yeah. And I wanted to write you and say what the numbers were, but I didn't know. So I was like, he'll figure it out.
Yeah, just the next 3.
Right. I was like, just the way I am going to figure it out by just figuring out where we stopped. And as I was scrolling through my notes, I was like, oh, that's right. 7, 8, 9. Also, at the time of this recording, we are all in Georgia.
Yeah.
All 3 of us.
Oh, don't remind me. No,
I know, right? I cannot believe as many motherfuckers voted for Herschel Walker.
Oh, my God.
And I don't know what we were watching. What were we watching on Hulu?
One Punch Man.
Yes. And so our Hulu account, we have the smallest one, so we have ads. And they're localized ads, apparently. And so we were sitting there in the first commercial break. It was like, Herschel Walker once put a gun to his wife's head. Herschel Walker often talked about blowing off people's faces. Like, Herschel Walker paid for a like, it was like he's the worst man in the world. And like,
and that was an ad for him.
Kaylee and I looked at each other and I was like, oh my God, we are fucking Georgia. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're in Georgia. Yeah, so we're in the same time zone. John talked about, you want to record at 10:30? I was like, what?
I mean, that's usually when I record with y'all.
And then I didn't get the magnitude of what 10:30 p.m. was until I'm in it again. And I was like, wait a minute. No, I'm going to be dozing off of my melatonin about 10:30. I apologize, John. I didn't realize how late I have been keeping you up.
No, I prefer it, honestly.
I was like, these are young. I was like, those are young people recording hours. I need old people recording hours.
I'm old. What are you talking about?
Speaking of which, really quickly, our friend Ashley gave us a bed. Really nice king size.
So nice.
Tempur-Pedic, remote control.
Like, that bed that was at Grandma and Grandpa's house that we all slept in.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 of us minus Jack.
That's like a futon bed. That wasn't even like, I don't feel like. Jack got the good bed.
It was a good bed. But that was like the biggest thing I've ever slept in. It was huge. It could fit 4 people. But this is also pretty big.
Yeah, it's a king size. It's like a Tempur-Pedic. As a matter of fact, I was scrolling through Facebook and I got an ad for it because, the internet's a creep.
Yeah, that's true.
And anyway, I took a screenshot so I could show you guys what the bed looks like. But it has remotes for each side. And, you can lift up the feet and the head. It has a massage setting. It has a thing called zero gravity where it just like takes all the pressure off your back. I wish. You would never see me again. No offense. But it just like elevates your feet and head at the same time. And so your body is just kind of like is it a bell curve? I don't know. I'm not that smart. But anyway. Like a little dip. It's just a really nice bed. So my mom also left us these blankets. And there's like one blanket in particular I love. It's like a white and gray pattern. But then she left this other one. It looks like Christmas. It's just like red, green, plaid. Right? And so
it's the material too. It's like, feels like almost like a quilt.
Yeah. So Sunday, my mom left to go back to North Carolina. And that was like our first night in the house alone, just like the family, me and Donnie, Kaylee, Jack, the dog. And we rented a TV because my mom brought like one TV and that was not working. That was not working for our show. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking. So I'm renting a TV until our stuff gets here next month. And it's a big TV. Like they didn't have anything. It's a 55 inch. It's the smallest one they had to rent. It's a really nice 4K TV. And we had that set up on these chairs and we're like watching the show. We were going to watch the stuff, but we had to podcast first. So we couldn't like watch the stuff we wanted to watch. So we ended up watching this documentary about It's called Killer Sally, I think, on
I don't know what it
Netflix.
was.
I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry. But it's about this woman who was in the Marines and she became a professional bodybuilder. And her husband, who was also a professional bodybuilder, I think also Marines, he competed for Mr. Olympia or whatever it is that Schwarzenegger has won. But anyway, and she kills him. He was abusive, and it's like a 4-part thing. And we're watching that. All the lights are out. I got my glasses on. Kaylee came in here to borrow my computer cord to charge her laptop, and she's like, y'all are so old. What are you doing? It was like 8:30 at night. She was like, you're all under your old people blankets and your old people bed. And then she looks at the TV. She goes, what is this, a documentary?
Old people TV.
Right? And no, but listen, you guys, I thought about that shit for like 2 days because I remember probably being younger than her because she wasn't born yet. So, and I had her at her age, but so younger than you. But I remember like going to my dad's house here, but also back in New York. At one point, they took the upstairs and turned that basically into that whole upstairs was just a giant master bedroom and a bathroom, right? And I would have to go up there, to say goodnight or talk to them about stuff. And I can tell you myself, I would walk in that room and they'd be in the bed. My dad would be doing something like cutting coupons. They're watching like 60 Minutes or some shit.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, and they're like kind of squinting at the TV, and I remember, and if I think about it, they were probably about my age. Yeah, they had to be like in their 40s because I remember celebrating my dad's 50th when we had built that first house in Georgia. I keep saying it like I'm not in Georgia. Second time I've done that. But yeah, they had to be like in their 40s. But I remember like going into the room to talk to them about something or whatever and watch them sitting there. Like I said, there's newspapers, my dad's cutting, they're watching TV. And like the first time I would realize that they were getting old, if that makes sense. Noticing the gray hair. And so when she did that, I said, I wonder if she's thinking back to like even how I looked when we first moved to Oregon, which I feel like is drastically different. And so I just wonder for you if it's like that, if you're just like, yeah, they're getting old. Yeah, we're getting old. Donnie has like way more gray hair than I do, but we were like, shut up and get out because this documentary is actually really good.
Close that door.
Right? Yeah, close the door.
You're letting all the heat out.
Right. Leave us alone. Speaking of which, also, we have a Ring doorbell now, and I was telling John, I didn't know it made a noise.
Yeah, that's the noise that it makes when it's alerting the police of your activity.
You stop saying that. So Kaylee went to take Nico out before we recorded, and I heard like this chime, and I was like, "What the fuck is that, John?" I thought it was John coming from John, and then I realized, oh, it was Ring letting me know that someone was at the door, and it was Kaylee. The other day, I looked at the alert, and it was like someone was at your door, and I tapped it, and it was me and you coming back in at night from taking Nico out, and I had my robe on, and my hair's in this messy bun like it is now. And I've never looked so old. I was like, holy shit, I look like somebody's grandma coming up the stairs. And you see me like open door and like usher Kaylee to go in first. Like, just like an old lady. Oh my God. I hated it. I was like, oh, delete that footage. Delete this.
Oh no, I accidentally shared it. Oh no.
Right? But anyway. We're here to talk about Ranking of Kings, and like I said, at the time of this recording, we're in Georgia, and I have not yet published the last Ranking of Kings podcast, which was supposed to go up like Thursday. It is now Sunday, and I'm going to be honest why I haven't done it yet, because that's the podcast that Nico barked no less than 50 fucking times, and I just don't even want to fucking deal with it. Like, I don't want to deal with it.
You don't want to edit it?
I have to I wrote down all those timestamps, and I'm just going to have to, look at this.
Oh my God.
Right?
They're all in a different color.
Yes. It's just 5 minutes in, 28 minutes in, 39 minutes to 40 minutes in, 47 minutes, 56, an hour and one. Like he just kept, and I have to hit all of those things and splice it together. So I'm actually going to do that tomorrow. So that will go up. Apologies. I'm just being dead ass honest. Plus I also just moved cross country. Give me a break. Anyway, you guys, 10 through 12. What even is this show?
I don't know. I'm trying to still figure out who exactly the big bad is, like what the climax will be.
Yeah, because so far, all of the villains are sympathetic, right? Am I wrong?
Kinda, yeah. Pretty much. Not kinda wrong. You're kinda right.
Right, like Daida.
Well, what is this, Black Panther movie?
Right? Yeah, I saw somebody saying, John and I have seen Wakanda Forever. Kaylee hasn't. And I know Donnie hasn't back in Oregon. And someone was saying on Twitter they should give Ryan Coogler Doom because of his ability to write these kind of sympathetic, complex, villains.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you should give him anything. Honestly.
Yeah, just give it to him. Give him the world. I thought it was interesting. He said, like, after this, he's just, like, they're doing all the promotion and stuff. And I'm sure there's going to be Oscar nominations, so there'll probably be, like, a run of that. But him saying that he's just going to, like, kind of take a break and see where he goes next. Because he said he put everything he had into that movie. And it shows.
Mm-hmm.
For Chadwick. Okay, so... I don't know what this is. This is like, we were talking about it with my sister. My sister is a filmmaker, and we were talking about Nope. And she was talking about like what she likes about Jordan Peele's work. And I was saying how in interviews he has said that he gets a lot of his inspiration from anime because anything goes. Mm-hmm. Like, you can just do anything. And I thought that was so... And again, I didn't watch anime for a long time. Mm-hmm. And Kaylee got on my ass about it. And I get it. Like, I see it now. And that's what this show kind of feels like. It feels like you can... It's, like, better than Game of Thrones. In the sense that it's, like... It feels like it's different things. Like, at times, like I said before, I'm always so shocked when it gets funny. Mm-hmm. But like a smart funny. Not like a kiddish, cartoonish, you know what I mean? But, like, it's, like, mature and smart. Like, if somebody said, like, what is this about? I'd be like, okay, there's, like, this kid and there's a king, but then, yeah.
There's no template that it has to stay within.
Yeah.
It can do whatever it wants to do.
Yeah. And it works. Mm-hmm. So, John, what did you think of these episodes?
I think they're great. I mean, I don't really have, like, a lot to say. Like, it's just really... I don't know it's really good. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying, like, the evolution of these characters and... just seeing, like you said, like sympathetic villains, like mm-hmm. even like the people who you think, oh, these are the worst people. Yeah. And it's like, well, actually they're not. And then, like, as we saw in the last set of episodes, King Boss, he's got some pretty shitty qualities about him. Yes. you thought he was like this hero, and then you learn, no, it's mm-hmm. like he's human. It's mm-hmm. like everyone on the show is pretty human, which is why it was interesting when in these episodes, I don't remember which one it was, but at whatever point when they're talking about how powerful Bojji has become, and Despa's like, yeah, but he's like pure of heart or whatever. And I was like, I feel like this show has shown us nobody is entirely infallible. Right. So, like, I don't know if I trust, but, like, at the same time, I have significantly less exposure to anime than y'all do. But I do feel like there is, like, that certain trope within anime where, like, there will be, like, the one guy who is kind of infallible. Yeah. Where, Armin. Not to just go back to the Dragon Ball Z again, but Goku is that guy. Like, he's a terrible father,
Anime ain't got good fathers. It's like very rare to come across a good anime dad.
But like he's not. I mean, Piccolo's a good anime dad. He's just not actually Gohan's father. But I was like, Goku is a bad father, but like not by choice. You know, like he's just like he's such not that person.
I was wondering if I say it's like Gene and Hunter x Hunter, but it is by choice. He chose to stay away from his kid. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's
cool.
like.
Yeah, his kid was just like, I can't wait to go find my missing dad.
I mean, I guess Goku does choose it, but like it's not malevolent, you know what I mean? It's he chooses, like he's like, I gotta go fight, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, but like, I feel like anime does have like that kind of a thing where if Bojji could absolutely be completely infallible and pure and not ever do anything bad, and it would fit, it would be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like, so I was still like kind of nervous when they were talking about him, you know.
Yeah, being a pure part. Yeah.
Because it's just like, I don't know if we're gonna see that. I don't know if you know that's what's gonna happen. But anyway.
So go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I was gonna say you said you're not you have not as much exposure to anime as we do, and I don't have nearly as much as Kaylee does. But you know the whole thing where like midway, what they call the cores. There's like you have your season, and then you have core 1, so it's like the first set of episodes of the season, and then core 2. And when you reach that second core, the intro and outro changes.
See, I did not.
Oh,
I
really?
Didn't consider that.
Yeah,
like, I saw that in this. I was like, because listen, I didn't want to say it. But like the outro for those first 11 episodes, because it changes after episode 12, right?
Yes.
Those like the outro, I like it. I like both the intro and the outro. But that outro was very Taylor Swift.
Ah,
really? I didn't want to say it because I don't really want to say it. But it was very Taylor Swift. And then when they hit that outro in this episode 12, I was like, wait a minute, that's not the same song.
Yeah.
And like they had the recap.
Yes, the recap.
In front of episode 12, and I was like, what the fuck is this about?
Yes, and I said, like, we were watching it, and I was like, is this a recap episode? It better not be a recap episode. And then, like, after a bit, I was like, or maybe it's like a recap before the intro. And then that's when it occurred to me, I bet you that intro is going to be different. Yeah, I was like, I wonder if this was like the halfway point. This is like the kind of thing they did, because clearly they were away for a bit. Episode 12 returns after a couple of months. You get the recap, new song. Yeah. So we were like, okay, 11 must have been the halfway point. Yeah. And I will say I liked this new intro. I got to hear it a few more times to even like remember why I liked it, but I liked it. And Kaylee was like, I don't know. The first one is a bop.
I mean, really good.
Not wrong.
Really
I know it is good, but this one was good too. I will say, I think I like the visuals of this one better.
Yeah,
the stuff we saw. Yeah, and the way it was depicted. I don't remember a lot about the oh no, the outro song was really like, was it really slow? Kind of,
yeah. It's really like slow pop ballad.
Yeah.
I remember liking that one. Still not as much as the first one.
Oh, okay. Maybe it'll grow on you. So were you done, John?
Yeah, I'll just say, I'm just looking at the episode list here. And yeah, so episode 11 was like at the end of the year. Okay. And then 12 was like January 7th, 2022. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's so interesting to me that like this show is still so new. Like I don't even think about this show being a new show. You know?
Like I said, it was just a thing where like everybody was talking about it at one point and how surprisingly good it was, and then there were those Game of Thrones references, and then finally Joshua came through and I was like, okay, I gotta check this out. What did you think, Kaylee?
I was gonna say, back when you said maybe the song will grow on you, very rarely does an anime opening or ending song grow on me. If I don't like it right away, I just don't like it.
Really?
Yeah.
It's dead to me.
I've noticed that.
You know what grew on me? That the last Attack on Titan intro.
Yeah, those kind of
Shut
did
up,
grow
John.
on me.
You know what I
mean?
Like, but that's...
Go ahead.
that's like, again, it's just very rare. If I don't immediately like a song, specifically if it's for anime, like BTS songs, I have BTS songs that always like grow on me. Same with like TXT, but anime songs for some reason, if I don't immediately like it, I'm just, especially if it's a song that came after another opening. Like if it was like the second opening. I always compare it to the first. I'm like, but I missed the first.
Yeah. The first is always special. I still feel like the first Attack on Titan was like superior. It is just, I'm sure I have to bump that later because like it's been a minute. What were you going to say, John?
Oh, I was going to, when you said, you know what grew on me? Like the way you said it, I thought you were going to like, you when I was pregnant. And so you're going to respect what I'm saying.
I got to remember that.
That's the way you said it.
You missed it when you went to the kitchen and I was telling John about the flight and I was talking about like where we were sitting and I was like, Nico was in his bag. But anyway. Oh, go ahead. So what did you think of the episodes?
The episodes themselves were great. I like Miranjo.
I don't know why. Can we, John?
She's just pretty.
Listen.
I think it's okay. You guys.
No. Go ahead.
There's a cartoon that was on Disney, I think. It was called Star versus the Forces of Evil. And there was a character in that show that they hyped up a lot to be a villain. And I was like, ooh, I'm so excited for this villain because she looked pretty. And I was like,
crazy. So, we know your type.
But then it turns out when you actually meet her, she's not a villain. And I'm like, oh. I was so disappointed. And like, when I'm seeing Miranjo, she looks like that character. So I'm like, this is what I wished was in that cartoon. That's why I love her so much.
Like, every freaking time this character, like, her voice, anything appears, like, Kaylee, like, reacts to it. To the point where, like, when the little girl was crying in the place where Daida is, and I was like, who the fuck is that? And she was like, isn't that Miranjo? I was like, the mirror lady? She was like, yeah, because that's her voice, and her hair is the same. And I'm like, what the fuck, Kaylee? I could barely remember.
I just knew it was her because of the hair.
Oh, okay. I barely remembered what the mirror sounded like. I didn't even remember through, like, halfway through these episodes.
You still forget her name.
Yeah, now I won't, but, like, I absolutely didn't remember it going into these episodes. But I didn't remember until partway through watching these, the fact that she's not, that we had that thing with her getting in that, like, mechanical body or whatever to dance with him, the doll or whatever that was. I was like, oh yeah. Forgot so much stuff about her, but you memorized everything. Anyway.
Yeah, like, when she's crying there, like, see, this is, I'm going to say something and it's like, it's possibly stupid. But like, what's new?
I say stupid shit all the time. Go for it.
But like, when that girl, and then when they said, "Oh, that's Miranjo," like when she said her name was Miranjo, I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "Wait a minute, is Miranjo the girl who saved Kage? Because do we know her identity yet? Have we seen her again?"
Oh, I don't know. The small girl.
Oh, I don't remember what she looked like. I thought she was blonde. Yeah.
But no, we haven't. I didn't think we saw her face at all. I thought we just saw her like her
face. Saw her face.
Did we?
Maybe we saw her face.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I don't know. I was just like, that would be so interesting if that was her.
What'd you say, Kayla?
It still could be her.
Yeah, it still could be. Like, yeah, because there's this weird shit with her. Like, I'm still not sure exactly. Like, I feel like I'm sure that Boss is playing her. Like, I feel like everything that's happening is what he wants to happen. I feel like maybe he has regrets over the deal that he made and, like, how it caused Bojji's life to be for a while. But I don't know, like, her, like, how did she get to this point? What does she have against this country that she reveals at the end of 12 that she wants to, like, see it burn or bring it to heal or whatever. So, yeah, it's possible it's that little girl. Like, I don't know. But it's that interesting element, too, where she's been in there a long time, right? Because that's, like, little girl her. And she has an adult voice. And then she didn't know that Boss had kids.
When she was younger.
Right.
So she's known Boss.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So, like, But then it's also kind of creepy because like adult her is like trying to mac on Boss. Right?
I think it's implied that they've known each other since they were kids.
Oh, I thought he was older than her. I don't know why. Maybe just because he's the king and he's a big ass giant.
Yeah,
I just
he's huge.
Like I've not seen him be anything but huge, even before he made the deal. You know, so I think I just assumed that because she knew him when he didn't have kids. I assumed he was an adult, and I think I was picturing him back when he went to make the deal. Like she knew him then, but you're right. It could be just that they were kids. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Can I also point out that I think it's fascinating that Boss hasn't said a single line these entire 3 episodes?
This is true. This is absolutely true. And to the point where when we were trying to like suss out like the 6 that are sent there, and I was just like, did we know that Moranjo, what was her name? Moranjo sent them? And you were like, I think it was implied because her silhouette was in the background or some shit. Yeah, like when they cut to him sitting there, supposedly like captive, he looked bored. Like, let's just get on with this. So, I'm sorry. Were you done?
Pretty much. Yeah. Okay. I'll have more to say as we go. Okay,
let's talk about it because I love it too. I don't really have much to say beyond like the details of these scenes. Episode 10 is the Prince's Sword. And Bojji got his needle, John.
Yeah.
And like I think the dog did something like distracted me or whatever, so I missed the reveal, like when he pulls it out of the scabbard, right? And Kaylee was like, "Oh, you didn't see his sword." So I went to rewind it, and like when I hit the button, the shot, I didn't know it at the time, was the sword because it's like up in the air and it's like ding, the little star on top of it. And so then I wasn't expecting that, because I didn't realize that's what I was looking at. So he pulls it out. I was like, oh, it's like Needle. Arya's sword.
Yeah, it's the weapon that he chose off the wall.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. I forgot about that. So he, Despa, right? That's the trainer, right? And Kage and Bojji go out to eat, and they're approached by these bullies in the tavern who are fucking with them, and it's the funniest shit. This is what I mean with like the comedy when the people are insulting Bojji, and Bojji is cool as shit. Kage is like, look at them, they're both just like they're so unaffected, but when they insult his face. And Despa's like, you can mess with my student all you want, but when you talk about my face, and Kage goes, other way around. That shit cracked me up. And what were their names? Abin, Lane, and Bowen? I think those were. I don't know why I'm asking. I know neither of you have notes.
I did not. I did not care.
Okay. True. And it, like, I don't know if they'll come up again, but we learned later. We'll talk about the fight in a second, but we learned later that it was like all the plan, like he was testing them. And at first I was so scared. I was like, oh, is he a piece of shit?
Yeah,
I thought that. Sorry, Kayla, were you saying something?
Oh, I was saying I was thinking that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was so like, because it felt like it was going to be. Oh, great! We convinced him that he's powerful, but he's not actually.
Yes. So I was very happy. Where it felt like almost immediately he was like, now I can see that he's ready and trained. I was like, oh, thank God. But Bojji does these like punches that it's like not about the strength in them, but like the points. He teaches the pressure points that can like cause you to have like temporary concussions and stuff, and
it's like I don't remember her name, but from Avatar.
Not Suki. No,
what she did. Suki's
no, it was but no, Azula's. Is that her name?
Oh,
Azula's friend. Yeah,
like not May, but the other one.
Oh yeah, no, the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one who's with the pressure points who can make you take your bending away by.
Yes.
It just reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm.
And like it was so like I love this part of it, the way that when he's explaining it, they show it.
Yes.
Like scientifically.
That's
show like
that is anime for you. Yeah, it was all a plan to test him, and I like how not weak, but kind of like so not opposite personality like the main one was. Do you remember? Like they were just like regular dudes. Like they weren't like, oh, I just got excited. I was going to look up that girl's name, and then I was reminded about the live action that's coming up. But I've heard some like negative stuff lately.
I'm not surprised. Well, negative how?
I don't remember the specific, but the most recent one, which I felt like was more concerning than the one I definitely remember, because people were, when they were talking about the recent one that I can't remember, they were saying first this and now that. And it turns out the actor hired to play Sokka is not native, not indigenous to, he I guess claimed to be, and he's not.
Yeah, that's a problem. If you claim to be,
yeah, not. And they haven't fired him. So
I still have somewhat high hopes for the live action One Piece.
Me too. I'm really looking forward to that. So we see that Bojji, we didn't know this, had been trained by the snakes.
Yeah.
And they also taught him to read lips.
Yep.
I was like, holy shit.
It's like we didn't even bother to think about how he learned it.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh.
What are the snakes' names like?
I don't have those written down.
I think they have one name, right?
Yeah, it's
I don't know.
It starts with an M.
It's like Matsumoto or something.
Oh, I never caught that.
Something like that. But like, I'm just saying it because like it's such a cool character.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love like the fact that you got these big ass snakes just here
with one eye between them,
and just like talking to Bebin. It's just like as if they're just people.
Yes, and caring for Bojji, like teaching him things. It's like, what? But all because of like that kindness that he showed, and again, we talked about this, like there's those characters that like make people better people, like everybody they come across, they make them better in some way. It feels like Bojji's kind of being that. But we see the snakes filling Bebin in. This is the first time we've seen him since
he was
sucked down into the ground.
Yeah, since he died.
Yeah. And we, as the snakes are filling him in, through that we learn that Appease is guarding the underworld portal, which I don't know if I knew that. Yeah. Bojji now kind of graduated from his training, ponders going home. And he thinks about, like, this hadn't occurred to me. He was thinking about, the queen sending him off and them like laughing behind his back. And I was like, oh shit, he doesn't know that the queen and the other guy, don't tell me.
I forgot too.
Hukuro. John, this is every anime podcast with me. Every fucking one. There's like 2 or 3 characters where I just don't get it. Like my brain won't. Those O's and U's fuck me up.
Remember Ajin?
Yes.
3 characters of K,
Kai, K, Key. I was like, what the fuck? Why? Yeah, that he was considering. I was like, oh shit, he doesn't know that the other guy wasn't in on it.
He doesn't know that his stepmom was
right, and he considers that, but then he remembers her jumping out that fucking window to catch us.
Yeah, I thought that was Kage remembering that.
No, because he also remembers her healing him and her healing the snake.
Yeah,
I think
Kage
that's
remembering that. That Kage remembers her healing Bojji. Bojji wasn't even conscious during that. He doesn't know that.
Kage wasn't there though.
Yes,
like,
he was.
No.
It showed him there. He was watching it.
No. But they showed stuff that Kage couldn't have been there for.
Yeah, but that was when Bojji was remembering it. Bojji remembers different stuff later, like shortly after. But Kage starts. He remembers the stuff first. Do you want me to pull up the episode?
No, I believe you.
Because my memory is better than yours.
I got receipts.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Your memory is better than mine. No, it's not. Shoot. Just because I eat edibles. Why does he beat himself up?
He's just frustrated with himself. That's an anime thing.
Okay.
It's something going
Yeah,
on as well.
I was like, dude, is this part of a plant? I feel like I barely survived. Like, like, I was like, why are we doing this?
What I read it as was that he was trying to stop crying and he was mad at himself for crying.
I wonder.
But I don't know if that's what it is.
No, you're right, because I did briefly think that, because I remember thinking about a scene with Eren in Attack on Titan doing something similar when we were watching that. You're right. I do think that's it. Yeah, I had, right? My brain went to that scene for a reason. Yeah. I think you're right, John. So they decide that they're going to go home, and then I just have in my notes, what the fuck was that? We get like this thing eating a rat or something.
Yeah.
I was like, what is happening? And it turns out that's one of the 6 that is released in the next episode, which is older and younger brothers. So, go ahead.
The one thing in that episode, we learned that, I don't remember exactly where we learned it or how, but that Prince Bojji will save Prince Daida at some point.
How do we learn that?
Was it the snake who said that? I think someone said that.
I remember this vaguely, yeah.
I don't know. I didn't catch that at all.
Oh, yeah, it was the snake. Because I remember, because he was like, Bedman asked him, was that a prophecy or intuition? And then he was like, I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. Then I was like, that's intuition.
That's right. I remember you saying that. I remember him saying something and you being like, that's what intuition is. And I was like, and I just giggled, but I didn't hear what he said. Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah, so he said at some point Prince Bojji is going to save Prince Daida. He didn't say how or from what, but yeah, so I was like, I clocked it at least.
Okay,
I was like, I don't know what that means, but it's going to happen.
This is so Game of Thronesies. We got prophecies and intuition and shit now. Where's my dragons?
And that's like, I don't like whenever the fuck we're going to get to die. I don't remember when it happened, when we see like when he got the mirror and everything.
Yeah,
but like
that's coming up right now.
Yeah, I just feel like it's so interesting. Like it would be so great if Bojji and Daida ended up being like close. And that like it was Moranjo who put it in his head the whole time, because that's what it feels like.
That's what it feels like. That's where it's going, right? And it's because when they introduce it, which we're about to talk about, the opening of episode 11, it's interesting that as a very like I forget that Bojji is older than him because he's so small, but he looks to be about like how Bojji looks now, is what I'm trying to say. Like it was like baby face Daida, and the mother telling him, the queen telling him, because of your brother, you have to be strong. Like you have to be strong to make sure you always protect your brother. And it's just, again, these layers that they're peeling back of this woman and how you thought she felt about Bojji. So you're immediately wondering, how the fuck did he get the way he got? But then it's like, boss, being like, here, son, look at this evil magic mirror. And I'm like, dude, like because he already knows at this point. Like, why would you, like, is this how we find out he's been playing like a long chess game? Like, why would he expose himself? Well, maybe that was part of like the deal. No. I don't know.
And
I don't know why he would expose his son to that mirror.
And it was interesting later when Healing, the mother, sees the mirror. It's like, she's like, oh, where have I seen that mirror before? And I was like, did she not know that her son had this mirror all this time?
That's what I said. I was like, and I couldn't tell if it kind of was like that she'd seen it but forgotten or was made to forget or some shit. Like, and it was like, where have I seen that before? And I was just like you, I looked at Kaylee, I was like, she never saw that mirror? But it would make sense why she wouldn't. Like, why he would have hidden it.
I was gonna say, back when you mentioned, like, why would Boss give his son the mirror?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm assuming it is all part of this long plan, because she used him to revive him.
Yeah.
So
oh Jesus, this man is not a good dad. But then we find out he's ableist as fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, if I was blind, I would just kill myself. I was like, Jesus Christ. And they call him on it, right? Like, oh, so he's stronger than you, like,
because he could live with it.
Yeah. And he's just living his life, and you're here, saying I couldn't even do it.
You think it's a struggle, but he's living just fine.
Yeah. And like, then I was like, I looked at Kaylee again. I was like, how did he get to be such a shit? And then you're like, the mirror, because I thought it was interesting. Like, they don't show him interacting with the mirror beyond, right? Yeah. It's just like he was set on this path to be strong. And then that's why I love where he says at some point he began to see even his own brother as weak. And not just weak, though, because I think it's implied, right? If your mother says you have to get strong to protect your brother, you're kind of admitting that your brother has at least a weakness, right? Or he is in need of protecting. But it felt like it turned into a malicious, like how he looked at the man in the street. Like, how do you say it? Like surviving on pity or some shit like that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was interesting the way that they framed it when they were telling him. They were like, and your father has created this kingdom where this man can survive and
it's an accessible kingdom.
Right. And so it's ADA compliant. And so they're like, that's the kind of king that you should be. Like when you become king, or if you become king, that's how you should treat the kingdom and the people in it.
Right.
It's like teaching him how to be a leader and not just like a good person.
So this stuff with Miranjo, like, I'm still like, where the fuck is he? Why is she in? Because I know they're talking about underworld stuff. Is he inside? Where is he that she's also there? Because it feels like she's been in there for a minute, right? Like I'm not crazy in thinking that she was a little girl and something happened to her and she's been in there that entire time. But whatever, like how something is, how somehow Boss is possessing his son's body, something with her.
I think
is
his
like
consciousness went into the mirror, and so he's in the mirror.
So this has always been the mirror.
Yeah, and I think this is maybe just her memories.
Gotcha. So this is okay. That makes sense. This is just the innocent part. You know, like when they do something in a show where it's like the part of you that is traumatized by something, like it goes to like
just a child.
Yes, it's just a child. Yes, it's like you as a child in your own, like running through whatever trauma you've been through, and you just have to get it to like a safe place. Okay, that makes sense. So the real her is still in there. The kind.
Because remember that scene where he's talking to her and he's like, "We'll both get out of here," and she's suddenly like, "Why does it feel like a weight has been lifted or something?" Like she feels relieved.
That's right. That's right.
So like something obviously connected to her wherever he is.
What's up with the people who are like, we cut off her hands and flayed her?
I don't know. That's like we just have to. They just gave us these pieces. We're left to scramble and pick them up and put it together and try to figure out what's going on.
And they never showed her face, right? Like the mask fell off, but we never saw her.
Because they said they flayed the skin off her face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the question that I would have about this, or do have about this, is like, is this like, oh, this was when she was a child, these people did this to her, they cut her hands off and messed up her face and mutilated her and all that, like when she was a child, and that's what drove her to become like this, like she made a deal with the devil or something.
Yes,
to like,
duh, and that's probably why she has like, that's why she doesn't like this kingdom. these people, like, to destroy. Yeah. That they did that to her as a child.
But I wonder
But
why they don't like her. Like,
they said
that she killed them.
Fuck, what did
like,
they
you
say?
know,
They
people,
accused her
like-
of something like witchcraft, religious.
Yeah, that's the thing is, like, you know how people are.
Yeah.
They're just like...
They were just
they're like,
people in.
What, you float? Well, you're a witch. And it's like, no, that's not like biology.
Yes. They were just people in. Because we also, you know, let's not forget, like, Kage's people were persecuted and, like, to extinction, basically. Almost, you know? Mm-hmm. By those light, which feels very religious.
Mm-hmm.
Those
I thought you were
light
say racist.
That too. It was like white hoods chasing the dark figures.
Shadows.
Yes.
Tomato.
Yeah, basically.
That's why it's interesting if she's the one who saved him.
She's
to me.
The little. Oh yeah. I want to go back and like. I really feel like we got their name too, right? Because the guy that they. Yeah, was like, you need to get back to so and so and so.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm going to go back and watch that scene. And she notes that Data has the same smell as Boss. I was like, that's weird.
Creepy.
Oh, I got to mention, he beats the shit out of them people.
Yeah.
I like the way he fights. It's just like a lot of flying kicks and.
It's like a little grasshopper.
Yes. But yes, that he befriends her, says we're going to get out of here, and that's when she says he feels like a weight was lifted from her heart. So King Dessa, Dessa, Jesus fucking Christ, the brother of Despa, mm-hmm. who sent him there, he announces that some folks escaped from like the underworld prison they were in, or some shit, or some prison they were in. And one of them is Oaken. I don't know if that's how you say it. Yeah. And I tried to write down because they were like, he was the sword king of the underworld. That's his title. I was trying to write down all their titles, but it went too fast. But I will talk about that. But really quickly, there's a quick scene of the queen on the road wearing the biggest armor breastplate thing I've ever seen.
Looks like she's wearing an armor dress.
It looks like, you know what she looks like? Did you see our friend Joshua S.'s Halloween costume? Baymax? Yeah. That's what I mean. She looks like, it just looks like poofy. Yeah, poofy armor. But we could not remember. Maybe John remembers better. I could scroll up through my notes. But we were like, where's the last time we saw the queen? Because it felt like I couldn't remember. We remembered her being unconscious in bed and those demon things coming to try to kill her, and then Dorshe like fought them off. But then I also remember the throne room scene where she could hear her son and she was like, we got to get him out of there, and she went to attack the king and homeboy knocked her out. Mm-hmm. And I thought that happened last.
Yeah, we can't remember.
But we can't remember if that was before or after she was in bed and the dogs attacked her, because she was unconscious twice. Yeah. And I'm trying to remember what happened last.
Or like...
It was that one, when they hit her over the head. That was the last thing.
When she was going to attack the king.
So her being knocked unconscious didn't lead to her... No, because that's why she fainted after finding out what happened to her.
Right, and that's why... And then he was watching her. Right, because the king told the Dorsha that somebody was going to attempt on her life. Okay, right. So the throne room was last. I was right. Okay. So they decided they were... Where the fuck are they going?
We don't know.
I feel like they said it, but I don't...
They probably said, but we didn't. We were paying attention because we were too busy trying to remember when the last time we saw her.
Yes, that's true. So we didn't hear any of this shit when the queen was in her bulky armor.
I was just like, they're not in the kingdom. And so like later, when they announced that they're going to be like attacking the kingdom, I'm like, well, at least the queen isn't there. And then it cuts to them running back to the kingdom.
Yes.
Oh, dang it.
Yes.
And it was like, well, there she is.
We get a really quick scene of Dumbass training Hokuro, and it turns out he sucks. Like he's not
sucks at training.
Sucks at training him, yeah.
Which is funny because he was supposed to train Bojji.
Right, that's true. And then there's like a quick shot of appease with Majuro, right?
Miranjo.
No, what did I call?
Majuro.
Look, oh my God, that's what I have written down. That's what I have written down. Majiro. What is it?
Remember, because it sounds like mirror. Miranjo.
Miranjo. Like a mirage.
Yeah.
Miranjo. Okay, excuse me. Shut up, y'all. Jesus Christ. So Dessa sends soldiers to Boss Kingdom, right? Because he's like, those 6 are on their way there, and we need you to kill them. But also, they're destabilized, so also take over the kingdom.
Oh, how do we get here?
All right. So then later, when they're offering to give Bojji a lift, I'm like, this ain't right.
They're gonna try to take over the kingdom.
I'm like, they conveniently left that part out too.
Yeah, I love, like, it was so funny. Kage on the back of that horse.
Yes.
It's the way he was sitting on it and holding on. Like, it was just like, how does this work?
Same with
It's
Bojji. It was like, this can't be secure.
It was just like, how, like, when you say, oh, if a dog wore pants, how would it wear pants? And it's like, not like that. However he's riding that horse does not look right.
So as they are preparing to leave, that's when they give us the breakdown of the 6. And there's like brunette, killer, black something, copperhead.
Black brunette.
Yeah. Gigan, Zoku, which is like the easiest thing. Like, that's so anime. Like, Kingbo, who we thought, I was about to say wasn't long for this world, but no, because we got that finger twitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just so, like, when they were like, here's his past,
Yes!
guy's dead.
Yes!
And I was like, well, okay, grand opening, grand closing, I guess.
I was like, they gave us that little bit just for a character that's dead, so I was like, but I didn't even
They
think
do that a lot in anime, though. They'll give you a character's backstory
that's
right before they die.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, there's like, that's basically like
a red flag.
Yeah,
A death flag.
that's like Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Like, every
They do
demon,
that.
we got like their whole shit right before they but even when Homeboy threw him over the wall, I didn't even think he was
like
coming.
off a bridge or something.
He just like he chucked him like out the kingdom. Like, he's like, well, that's that. I was like, Jesus. And then, yeah, the queen returns to the kingdom when she learns that the 6 took the king, which leads us into episode 12, Footsteps of War. And this is the one that begins with the recap. That I was like, John's going to kick my ass if this is like a whole recap episode before the second part of the season starts. And then I remember, oh, we didn't get the music yet. So hopefully this is just a cold open recap, which it was. We got new opening, new visuals. Look, I wrote it right this time. Miranjo with the 6 villains. And that's when I said to Kaylee, I was like, did we know she was behind their escape? And you said the previous episode when they were talking about who they were and they were walking, there was like shadowed.
It showed her leaving the underworld and they were right behind her.
Right. Okay. So, they want to know why. Why are we here?
Yeah.
What are we doing? And of like bad guys do, they were like, what's stopping us from just fucking everything up right now? Yeah. Yeah. I did like the guy Zuko that was trying to keep the peace.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah.
Like his voice. His voice is very familiar. We still haven't looked up his voice.
Yeah, well, I went to IMDb and I looked up the cast for this episode. They only listed 2 people for some
You
reason.
gotta learn to stop using IMDb, maybe, because it's been wrong many a times before.
You know what, Gen Z, you need to learn. Do you see what I'm dealing with?
You need to learn what.
Shut the hell up. See? I'll be wrong, right? I'll be wrong if I tell you to shut the hell up.
Yeah, you would be.
But yeah, I just thought he was so funny when he was just like, when he turns to appease and he's like, can you put that down as like a show in fairness? He's like, help me out here. I don't know. I just really felt that in that
Out of all
moment.
the villains that have just been introduced with these 6, he's the comic relief one.
Yeah. Oh my God. Anything to say about any of that before I move on to Despa? I want to make sure John, because I know I did a lot of summarizing.
I did like when he was like, "That's what happens when violence is your first resort."
Yes. I did like also when he realized where they were and he saw all those like frozen deep, things down there, and he was like, but then there were those dogs too. Yeah. He was like, maybe we don't want to die down here.
Also, Miranjo's mirror can turn into like a diamond.
Yes.
I guess for self-protection, maybe. I don't know.
You're smart, because I was just like, what? I was just like, anime shit. I was just some stuff I'm just like, that's anime shit. I don't know why it's happening. But that makes way more sense.
Because their puppets were killed.
Yeah,
so,
they're just
puppets. So
and it's so funny because right before that happened, I don't even know if I don't remember. You can tell me if I got it out my mouth, but I was definitely thinking like they're so creepy looking.
Yeah, you said that.
Okay, and then they died. Despa is reunited with White King.
His horse.
We are not fat shaming a horse. Because you know what? I'm there now. We've all been there. You're just stationary, just eating your ass off. That's like my life.
I mean, I'm here right now.
But when they show him like remembering the horse like in its glory days, that horse had beautiful eyelashes just like him. We didn't talk about back in the day when they had Dido talking about the blind man. That one guy's mustache, what the fuck was that? There's like one long curly pubic hair just going across his top lip. Some of the art choices and the characters' faces in this show kill me. But yeah, he's reunited with his horse, who's put on some weight because just chilling.
He only liked one person, and it was Despa.
Listen, he's like,
we anyone else touch him or ride him, so he just stayed where he was.
And they were just like, all right, fine. But he was like, look, we were in a pandemic. There's nowhere to go. So go ahead.
Just really quickly, I got update on that voice actor for Zoku. Is that what it is?
Zuko.
Well, it's Zoku.
See? I told you the O's in the U's.
Yeah, you probably said Zuko because of Avatar.
Avatar, yes. Go ahead.
Is David Wald. He did the dubbing. Is that... You were talking about the English dub, right?
Yes.
What else has he
done?
Haynes on Attack on Titan?
Hannes.
Hannes! Oh my god!
And I wanted to say Hannes, but I wasn't sure. I was thinking, is he Hannes?
Yes! That's Hannes! That's right! I can hear it now! Okay, go ahead. Anybody else that we might know?
Snipe on My Hero Academia.
Oh.
Tetsu.
Also My Hero?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had the same voice actor. Snipe is the cowboy hero. And he has like a
That's the one in that first time they rescued them, and I was like, who came in shooting? Because it was all superhero shit, like up until then,
just has a gun.
like extended hands, John, and raised and shit, and then all of a sudden it's just like, man, I was like, niggas shooting in this anime? What the fuck? That shit just blew me away. And then I remember watching the normies react to that episode, and I showed you the clip because the one black guy on the couch had the same reaction I did. He was like, niggas is shooting. Okay, Snipe, and who's Tetsu?
Tetsu is the guy from the other class. He turned all metal, his entire body. And remember, he goes head to head with the guy from the main class who can harden his body.
Yes. Yeah.
And
okay.
They become like besties because they're just so similar.
Yes, I was just going to say yes. They're very similar. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, Hannes. Oh, that's cool.
We know him mainly
as Hannes, from Attack on Titan. So I don't get I'm trying to remember why this shit went down. I just have Oaken versus Kingbo because Kingbo was like, fuck it, I'm the king.
Yeah, because his backstory is that he was. Not even before we got the backstory, they described him as a fallen king.
Yes.
So he's obviously very bitter.
Yes.
And he wants the throne.
Yes. And the ranking that we still don't know about.
How many are there?
We don't know. Okay. But like, so he just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit here in this seat. And then, but where were the others going?
Miranjo said someone was arriving, so they
that's right. Sent to the. That's right.
She said everyone.
Everyone. That's right. And then he claims the throne, and Oaken is like, "No, the fuck you not," and he like froze him, Kingbo, and then cut his hands, his wrists.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, because he did that thing, it was like swipe, and then walked by him. And so like typically like in anime, like a few seconds, the hands are going to fall off. But then the hands never fell off, they just bent. And I was like, oh my God, he's like bleeding him. And then he did like his Achilles or his knees, the back of his knees or something. And then he just went berserk on his back.
Skewered him a bunch of times.
I was like, Jesus Christ, what is happening?
I was like, I like this.
Yeah, that guy's a badass.
Yeah, he is.
I liked it even more when he said, just finish me, because he was like literally just torturing him at this point, and he didn't.
Yes.
He made a point to sheath his sword and just crouch and just stare at him, and I'm like, yep, that's what I like. I am so happy that happened. For no reason, just torture.
Okay. But so Kingbo's backstory. Fuck, why don't I remember the details of it? But I remember what you asked. His dad was a king.
And then his dad apparently killed everyone in the kingdom. That's what it looked like. Because it showed him with his sword, and he was like, he looked evil, and he's walking away from the kingdom, and then it cuts to him inside the kingdom surrounded by all these dead people, and he's like crying. And then I said...
You asked.
Why does he look... I said like, he looks so familiar. Do you
the
think
dad.
That's the guy? Yeah, the dad. Do you think that's the guy that Bojji met?
And I was like, the weird old dude that was like...
Sacrificing animals.
Yes.
Okay. They have the same mustache, I think.
I was like, okay, I was going to say that was doing like a weird, like a moon rain dance. But yeah, there was the sacrificing of the animals too. I forgot that part. I don't remember if he was the same guy.
Because there's something about him just looked really familiar. Maybe I'm thinking of a character from a different show.
His mustache kind of reminded me of Nezuko. Not Nezuko. Netero from Hunter x Hunter. Yeah. But it wouldn't surprise me if it is, because that feels like the type of character we'll see again.
Yeah.
That's right, because he had the thing that was farting out the animals. Sorry, I was messaging Jack to ask him to bring me a drink. Where were we? Yeah, and then after he's dead...
I'm sorry, Nico's biting on the blanket. I can hear it picking up in the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry. That little... Oh, Nico, stop. That's Jack. He finally dies, right? Like, he's trying to crawl away, isn't he? I feel like...
He's trying to get his sword, I know that.
And then
he grabs at his sword, and then that's when it doesn't happen.
His wrist is...
Yeah, that's right. And then we just see Zoku. Is that his name? Zuko. Zoku. Yeah. Zuko is like from Greece. And so when I say that, I know it's wrong. But I'm going to have to say Zuko a few times. I'm going to have to be wrong before I'm right. I'm just warning you. He tosses him. I don't know why. That was just the best to me.
It was, I like, go ahead.
Thank you.
I was going to say, I like this scene where, like, before he tosses the body, he kind of, like, comes up to him, and he picks up the crown that...
Oh, yeah.
The Kingbo had, and he... At first, it looks like he offers it to him to see if he did that because he wants the crown. And he thought he wasn't taking it, so he's like, all right, I'll be king.
I thought he was going to put it on his head.
Yeah, me too. I thought it was like, all right, you know what?
Yeah, like, you did it. You did your shit. You were in your bag.
And that was, like... Because, like, before that guy attacked Kingbo, Zoku was like, he's no match for Kingbo, but maybe he can weaken Kingbo.
Oh, that's right.
And then I can take out Kingbo.
Mm-hmm.
But then when that guy killed Kingbo, after he did that weird, like, he had to go and rest against the wall for a minute.
He was so nervous, like he just got anxiety.
Yes, I was like, what was that?
Socially awkward. Because he has not
too many people
at all.
Right. Oh, I'm so glad you brought that up because I completely forgot he did that.
I mean, maybe that was it. Maybe because he was hiding his strength, because that's what Zoku says that
That's
this guy
right. Yeah.
has been pretending to be weaker than he actually is.
Yeah.
So maybe he did wait until people left the room and then he killed King Bo. So maybe that's why he did it. But so you could tell that Zoku was like, well, I'm not going to try to fight this guy.
Right. Yeah.
He knew he couldn't take King Bo, and this guy just destroyed King Bo.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, I'm just going to give this guy the crown.
But then he
didn't.
He didn't. He's like, I guess. And I was like, what are we doing? Like, I was so nervous for him. So Miranjo and Appease are at the gate, and the queen, this is where we learned the queen doesn't remember. Like, she says, where have I seen that mirror? Like, they all gather at the gate, and now this is interesting because Dorshe is like, Appease, was this your plan all along? He is like, no, and she was like, shut up. No time for explanations. It's like, God damn it. Because I don't know his story. Yeah. Like, but while everybody's following, I would imagine he's just following what the king told him to do. Yeah.
I like how Miranjo introduced herself and she's like, it was my plan. It's me all along. And Doris was like, Miranjo, I thought you were dead.
Yeah, she thought you died in the war.
Yeah. So like everyone knows her.
Yeah. Well, she's the girl that everybody cut her fucking hands and flayed her face as a kid. Of course everybody knows her.
Okay. I just didn't make the connection. I thought that was in the same kingdom as that she's in now. I thought that was a different place for some reason, like a village.
Maybe, but I mean, the kingdom's pretty. Yeah. And then she's like, basically, I just want to watch this world burn. Just this one. Yeah. This one in particular. This kingdom right here.
Good for her.
Fuck it. What do you mean?
She knows what she wants. She's going for it.
I mean, Nina, this sounds pretty familiar to someone else who was cheering on someone else who was burning somewhere else.
Okay, you know what? Listen. Are you talking about me and Stannis?
Yeah, and the other, at the end of the show, the other person who burned another place.
Yes. Deserved. and next season on House of the Dragon, when Rhaenyra, I'm going to support all her fucking war crimes as well. These motherfuckers deserve it. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Sometimes motherfuckers need burning. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes they just need to be burned. Hold on a second. Okay. I was checking to see if we had any feedback for it, but we don't. Again, apologies, my fault. All will be right by the time you hear this, but by the time you hear this, you will remember that there was like a 3 or 4 day delay in the previous Ranking of Kings podcast. And again, it's just, I feel like editing out Nico. And also, I'm not going to edit him out of this one because I didn't write down the text.
I wasn't noticed.
But listen, when I warned them in the Facebook group, I was like, listen, Ranking of Kings is late because the editing, I can't, y'all. So many people are like, just leave it in. I'm like, no, y'all don't understand. When it blows out your eardrums, I don't want to hear shit. Also, this goes up for free where we're just like enticing people. And some people just, go figure. They don't want to hear a little devil Pomeranian screeching in their ear every 5 minutes. But y'all getting it on this one. It's just stated. Sorry. But yeah, I forget what we said we were going to do in terms of how we break this up. Let me just
I figure we just do 3 every time.
Okay. Well, yeah, because there's except where I feel like there's like one section where maybe he has like 4 episodes. I want to try to stick to. So what did we just? Oh yeah. Because this is 12 to 21. You're right. Yeah, this nigga was tripping. It was like 12 to 21.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
There was like a long group of episodes.
Okay, so we'll do the next 3 next week. So what is that? 13, 14, 15. Okay.
I get it.
Shut up. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We will talk to you next time.